Howdy folks, today I'm going to show you a few amazing tricks anyone can do using static electricity, and then I'm going to explain to you the science behind it as well. For these tricks you'll need a rubber balloon, a plastic or a foam cup, a nail or a very sharp pencil, and some water. First step is to punch a hole on the bottom of our cup using the nail. Then rub the balloon on your hair for about 5 to 10 seconds. Next, what you want to do is to pour some water in the cup while you're holding it over a catch bucket or the sink. Next, we're going to get the balloon close to the running water without touching it, and look at that, the water is bending towards the balloon. This is pretty awesome, isn't it? Look, it can even pull up on this piece of paper, and it can actually lift it off the table. Wow. Not just that, it can even stick to the wall. What has gotten into this balloon? In fact, these balloons are sticking to the wall for some time, allowing me to put up a bunch of them for this nice wall of balloons. Hey, might as well get them to stick to the ceiling too. Here we go. Alright, now let me explain to you the science behind what is happening here. So the tricks I just showed you were possible due to a buildup of static charge, but to better understand that, we need to talk about the smallest piece of different elements that make up our universe, called the atom. The atoms are made of protons, neutrons, and electrons. Protons and neutrons are in the center forming the nucleus, and the electrons are out and about circling around the nucleus. And each of these guys has its own electrical charge. Protons have a positive electrical charge, neutrons have a neutral electrical charge or no charge, and electrons have a negative electrical charge. And under normal circumstances, the number of protons will equal the number of electrons, giving an atom a neutral charge. Now between these, the electrons are a lot more likely to move from one atom to another. And in fact, this is what's happening when we rub the balloon against our hair. Because different atoms have a different level of pull or desire to keep their electrons or give up their electrons, what ends up happening is electrons will move from one of these objects to the other. The atom where the electrons left from now has a positive charge because there are too many protons to electrons, and the atom where the electrons have made their new home has a negative charge because there are too many electrons to protons there. It's also important to know how these different charges behave towards one another. Basically, opposite charges like negative and positive will attract or pull toward one another, and things with the same charge like a negative and a negative or a positive and a positive will repel or push each other away. But also a charged atom can pull towards a neutral atom because it can still pull on the negative charge or the electrons or the positive charge or the protons of that atom. So when we're rubbing the balloon on our hair, we are transferring electrons from our hair to the balloon, giving it a negative charge. And when we stick it to the wall, the negative charge of the balloon repels the negative electrons of the atoms making the wall and instead pulls strongly on the positively charged protons. Now here's something interesting. After you rub the balloon on your hair, you might have noticed your hair is sticking up even after the balloon is removed. This is because now that your hair has given up electrons, it has a positive charge, and since objects with the same charge repel one another, your hair is basically trying to run away from itself, giving you this funny hairstyle. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, share, and subscribe, but also check out my other videos. I'll put a link to them on the screen and in the description box. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.